unbelievable facts right now. We worked for 11 hours yesterday. It was very difficult. But we managed to get here. They move step by step. There is snow, ice and rocks around. Blinding sunlight floods and biting wind blows. At night, the temperature falls as low as -30. You mustn't stumble here. Just surviving is already a victory. Every ascent is like a little life. He doesn't like the word conquer. He says it is just work, which results in being selected and standing on the peak. He is Maksut Jumayev. How can a person born in a steppe be a Highlander? If mountains are your illness, how can you recover? What is on the other side of Everest? Elevating the steppe without belittling the mountain sounds like a line from a song about his life. Maksut is the first Kazakh who has conquered all the 14th peaks of the world, those which are above the clouds, more than 8,000 meters high. I successfully refuted the dogma saying that a Kazakh, especially one from the Caspian Depression, cannot climb mountains. He is a veterinarian by profession, but he did not practice it. He saw mountains when he was 16, and since then his work has been connected to height. He worked as an industrial climber for cleaning windows, a porter carrying loads during foreign mountain expeditions, and was an advertising agent. When rock climbing, you should press the lower part of your body to the rock, then regain your balance. There is a kind of intimacy or experience in order not to fall from a rock. He isn't tall, nor with an athletic build. He is 38 years old, but he looks younger. He says that mountains help him. Scientists support this opinion too. Oxygen starvation experienced by mountaineers when climbing exerts a beneficial influence on blood circulation. It stops the aging process and restarts all the physiological systems. For instance, Soviet mountaineer Chokha Zalikhanov ascended Mount Elbrus 209 times. He made his last ascent at the age of 110. After that, he led a full life for 6 years. Thus, a mountain knows how to reward a person who conquers its peak. Thanks to it, Maksut and Olga fell in love. She is a mountaineer too. Children became the peak of their relationship, but they did not hurry to make them mountaineers too. Jumayev, who is a master of sports and KSKA coach, sends his son to play hockey. I wouldn't like him to go to the mountains to find himself and earn a living the same way we did in running risks. It isn't easy or cheap to earn a living this way because you need equipment. For example, in order to get permission to climb Mount Everest, you need to pay $10,000. However, money is not important, as his real treasure is his family. The most important and difficult decision, which is to make an ascent or not, is taken in the kitchen with my wife. When walking, you have to watch your step. You must be sure of every step you take. Do you want to eat, Derek? Of course! Derek and Vasily say. We'll cook potatoes and add some tinned meat. It is a lavish lunch of a mountaineer. They carry 25 kilos in their backpacks and belay must be proper. The mountains taught him to bear responsibility not only for his life but for others too. Actually, every person in the team must be strong. The weakness of another person is regarded as an insult. Everyone experiences hardships, and everyone works hard during their training in the mountains. Everyone must work selflessly and hard. The factor of chance is involved in this. However, you can play Russian roulette only together with the others. They are a team, and if one person makes a mistake, both of them will die. Climbing mountains is like entrusting your life to somebody else. First, I must trust the person who safeguards me. If anybody falls, this person shouldn't lose time and must feel every step. I can't continue this way any longer. I'm so tired. This line is sung from a song sung on the way to the peak. As a two-man team, they managed to climb all the 8,000ers. Maksut and Vasily were first to do it in the whole world. Together they went through the fog and snow when snow covered their footsteps in 3 minutes, sometimes 40 meters, which were more than the height of a 10-story building divided them. We climbed Makalu, which was very difficult ascent. Guys from another expedition, which wasn't far away from us, died. As a result, only Vasily and I, out of the whole team, ascended. Makalu is a black giant in the Himalayas. It is the 5th highest mountain in the world. American Jay Seeger and Ukrainian Vladislav Zhagul died in 2004. This is another peak which is called Chogarai or K2 in Pakistan. It is the second most difficult after Everest. Being infamous for its craftiness, it remained unconquered for a long time. Only when they made the 7th attempt they managed to climb it. I could say that the mountain didn't allow us to climb. In fact, we weren't mentally ready to make an ascent to that summit. You must be ready both mentally and physically. Altitude sickness is deadly. There are different ways of developing it in various altitudes. For example, after climbing 1,000 meters on Kamchatka, you'll suffer from short breath and a headache. While you may not even start developing it before you cover 3,500 meters in the Tain Shan. It is like a quest. You cannot follow a road or climb stairs with missing steps. There you have to take each step carefully and properly. At the altitude of 8,000 meters, the amount of oxygen is 3 times less than the amount needed for proper breathing. Nobody is immune to mental disorders either. People say that suddenly quite healthy mountaineers can start chewing glass or talking to somebody invisible. Blood thickens. The body immediately reacts to acute oxygen starvation and the brain stops functioning. It is followed by coma and then death. I avoid mistakes. I do what I have to do. 2/3 of the energy and attention are used when climbing. However, the descent is much more dangerous. When descending, people often fall through cracks which are engulfed by the avalanche. The mountain will remain the same way it was before. While you only have one life, which is unique, so you should protect it, it is better to try climbing this mountain again than never returning from it. Except for K2, they conquered all the peaks at the first attempt. Maksut and Vasily take 12th place amongst those who conquered peaks without oxygen. Mount Everest is the highest mountain in the world. Its height is 8,848 meters. Every mountaineer of great class has to pass this test in their life. It took the climbers from Kazakhstan 29 hours to ascend this peak. They did it without a support team and did not use oxygen masks. It was in April 2007. By overcoming difficulties, trials and extreme conditions, people and their bodies find themselves. Everest was named after geographer George Everest. Another name is Jomolungma, which translates from Tibetan as Mistress of the Winds. Another meaning is Mother of Life. It is also called the highest dump in the world due to the great amount of garbage there. Only in 2007, and only the Chinese side, the amount of garbage was estimated to be 120 tons, which amounts to 3 kilograms per each mountaineer. Another unpleasant name is the highest cemetery and the peak of special morals. The last 1,000 meters leading to the peak are the death zone. It is the road of the dead because they are rarely removed, since in order to evacuate the dead from such altitude you will have to risk people's lives. The frozen bodies have remained on mountain paths for decades. They even serve as a sign for those who are ascending to the peak. War is war, and you have to be ready for anything. During 2 days on Everest, they endured 2 days without water or food in the terrible cold. It wasn't the worst thing for me, says Maksud. The indifference was worse. Only our experience and energy saved us. The Mountaineer's Code states that you must help each other in difficult situations, but this isn't always the case now. In May 2006, 42 mountaineers, including journalists from the Discovery Channel, passed dying British climber David Sharp on Mount Everest. David Sharp later died. Anyway, Maksud thinks the morals are the same everywhere. For example, Anatoly Bukreev, a climber from Kazakhstan, saved lives of 3 members of his team. New Zealand climber Edmund Hillary and Sherpa Norgay were the first people who conquered Mount Everest in 1953. Since then, more than 200 people have died there attempting to climb the mountain. I survived on that dangerous and long way, not in order to reap rewards, but now to use this experience and move forward. It was a kind of springboard for me. He does not dedicate his ascents to anybody because doing this means sharing responsibility with relatives and friends. He chose mountains on his own. When I say I hold Kazakhstani citizenship, I represent the country, represent the nation. When foreigners see me, a mountaineer, they respect my achievements, respect my attitude towards life and my philosophy of life too. We go to the mountains, we help others to make an ascent, and we work in the mountains too. The Kazakhs always lead the team, and they never bring up the rear using somebody else's handrails. The first conqueror of Everest said that he climbed the peak because there was a peak. However, Maksud has no desire to climb any of the peaks for the second time. Now he is going to ascend Aconcagua, the highest mountain in South America. Then he will climb 7 other summits. All the mountains are the same, all the people are the same, and there is nothing new, so it's boring. However, summits always have something new. You ascend a peak and hoist up the flag of your country. You sing although you can't even breathe. These are not just some words, but his life. I almost didn't sing out of tune. I don't know, probably it sounds okay at the altitude of 8,611 meters.
Наверное, нормально ты пойдет.